Hey everybody, it's Shisha here from SalesforceWay.com. One of my podcast guests, Fabian Taiyong, has introduced me what is Unlock a Package in Salesforce. So in this video, I'm going to digest those information and then quickly demonstrate what is Unlock a Package, hands-on stuff in this video, okay? If you're also interested in what conversation I did with Fabian Taiyong, the link about that podcast episode is down below in this video description. With that out of the way, let's quickly dive into today's content about Unlock a Package. All right, now let's jump into the screencasting. I've already in my browser have multiple things opened, so I want to just quickly go through these tabs because I think those are important complementary content. First of all is the podcast page, okay? This is my podcast, the SalesforceWay podcast. I recently had a chat with Fabian Taiyong, and he introduced me the Unlock a Package. So I just want to share you this page in case you want to listen to, because those are about why and how questions, and it's also a very good conversation. I learned a lot from them. If you are interested in the podcast, why not subscribe to this channel and listen to all the other guests that I invited to the podcast too. Okay. And then Fabian also shared me this metadata coverage page. I think this is one of the most important pages for a Salesforce technologist. If you haven't heard about this page, all these tabs links are down below in the video description. You can go there to find it out. So this is all the metadata types in Salesforce. It's a long list, and then each method, how you deploy them, is like with the columns here. So if you use metadata API, what metadata types are supported? And if you're using the source format, which is to interact with the scratch work, then that's a source track, and unlock the packaging, manage the packaging. So all these things, each time when you are dealing with a way to make the release, do come here to the page to check if the certain metadata types is supported or not. Then you don't have any surprise when you make a package, then you see that the certain metadata types are not inside the package. And then there are good articles from Salesforce as well. These articles have a really high-level overview of the things. So that's a long article. You're gonna check. You're gonna just spend some time to check what it is. And one of the things I think is really interesting is that not this part. Let me check. Where is that? Where is it? Do I have to use packages for everything? Because this is a question I got asked a lot of time. So a lot of customers want to jump between the old Ant way to the new way, the Unlock a Packaging way, the second generation packaging way. But you don't have to do 100% jump from the old to the new. There's no clear cut usually because the new package is still evolving. A lot of things are not supported. So I do recommend, as the article also recommends as well, so start small and do slowly, incrementally to shift from the old paradigm to the new paradigm. So this is a good article as well. Another one is the Unlock a Package FAQ page. This is a very technical in details page. It tells us how the Unlock package exactly works. So this is a long article as well, a lot of questions. I think it's really worth the time to go through to understand the inside out of the Unlock a package, okay? And then finally, all the things we're going to quickly talk about in this demo is in the script. I've already put in my GitHub guest, so it's also part of the video description URLs. You can go down to the video and then check all this. Okay, with all these tabs out of the way, let's start jumping to coding. So the repository is also in the video description. We will quickly go through certain most important commands in Unlock a Package. One is to create a new package. And then once we have a package, we create a new version of the package. And then of course, once we have the version, we're going to deploy to a certain org. It could be your sandbox org, or if you have a free dev edition work, you can deploy to that for testing purpose as well. And of course, the final step, we need to deploy to the production work. To deploy to production, you have to somehow flag your packages so that it depicts as this package is ready to be deployed to production. That's called a promotion. You need to promote this package so that it can be successfully deployed to the production environment, which is a safety net, right? Because when we are dealing with command line, every now and then we make the wrong kind of a target environment. Instead of putting into the sandbox, we might try to put it into production, and this is to save us from that nightmare. Okay, let's start with creating the new package. Let's just copy over the command line. Now I'm in this project folder. Let's copy over. This is the force package create command. So what it does, it do is create a package with the name test package, give a description obviously, and what is the package type. So it's the unlocked package, the second generation one, and where are the metadata located. It's under the force-app, and then I don't use any namespace for the demonstration purpose. If you use the unlocked package, you can create a namespace, okay? And then what is the dev hub you're gonna build the package on top of. So you do need to have a dev hub enabled environment to create and host the package and the future versions as well. So you either can register dev free edition, or you can use your production environment and enable the dev hub feature so that the production environment can host your package and the versions, okay? So here I'm just gonna quick run this command so that sorry, I need to into the folder and then run the command. Okay, it's very fast, as you can see. It's instantly fast because create a package doesn't do much. It just gives some basic information. What's the name, what's the description, what type of actually it does not create any metadata. It doesn't contain any metadata. So it's just a shell. And of course, the second step is to create a version. Let's say in this project, I have this project linked with the Scratch work, and I created very basic, simple metadata files. So the first one is the Apex class file. It doesn't contain anything at all. It's just the Apex file, and I created a custom object called test object 1, and with 2 text fields inside. Basically, that's all for this project. So now I'd say that I'm happy with this progress. I want to create the package version. So now I'm going to create the first package version. I'm going to copy this command and I go to the command line. Let's clean this. So as you can see, the command is force package version create. And say this is the package name we have already given in the previous command. And this is the folder we're going to make the package. And now we can create a password for the version. So if you create a password for this version in the future, you have to remember and use the same password to create the future versions. And then I said the Dev Hub is the hosting platform for me to create this version. Now I hit enter. It'll take some time to finally build the package version. So the versioning command actually takes the most of the time during the whole unlock package build process. Now after waiting for several minutes, then we get the version package created successfully. And now if we switch back to the Visual Studio Code, we see that this one file get changed, which is the sfdx-project JSON file, which is under the root path. If we check the diff, is that we can see that the package and the package version related entries are added into this file. So you don't really need to touch them, but you're gonna need to understand what these things gonna mean in the future when we build new versions or the following versions in the future. Here, as we can see, we have a package, which this is a unique ID for the test package, and then we have created package version, which is 0.1.0-1, and it also has a ID associated with this version. So everything is good. So let's move on to the next step. We're going to deploy to a static org. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here in the command line. So here what I'm going to do is just deploy back to the Dev Hub, which is a free developer edition. I registered from Salesforce. It's a free one, so it's an empty, almost empty environment. I'm going to just deploy the package version into that environment. And of course, we have set the password as test1234. When we need to deploy something, we need to have this password with us. And the package name, actually, this parameter, you need to pay attention. This is not really the package ID. It should be the package version ID. This is a bit confusing, but let's go here. We can either copy the test-package, this one, on the screen, or we can just use the unique ID, the 042T20. So either one should work. So let's switch back here. Let's give the test version and say we're going to install. Everything looks good. Now hit enter. All right, as you can see on the screen, everything is cool, and we installed this version into the Dev Hub environment. And actually, I just want to highlight one more thing. If you're not sure about any parameters in the DX command, you always use the -H to check. For example, this one. I don't need all these. If I'm not sure what parameters does it support, always use -H. You're going to check the parameters. For example, here, as you can see, the -P or -- package, it's actually really to install the package version. You need to give the ID or the alias of the package version instead of the package. So the parameter name is confusing, but you always need to double check what does it really mean before you understand how to use the command line. But that's all to install the package. Let's now go to the Dev Hub. I open it in the browser. And this is again the free Dev edition. We check the install package. We come here. You can see that we have this test package under the version 0.1 here in the environment. Now I just want to do a quick check. So let's assume that we already have the first one installed, the first version installed, and in the future we might have the metadata change, like Apex changes. And then you create the package version 2 and you deploy. The metadata will be changed automatically. That's no problem. You know, if you change the Apex, it's going to just replace that Apex file. If you delete the Apex file, it will delete. So, you know, it will get the delta of the package versions and then really replace the old one. But there's a caveat here. If you have, for example, custom object, custom field installed, and then in the newer version, you remove those field or custom object, what would really happen? This is something not well documented at this moment of time. Let's quickly check what that goes. So if we go back here, what I'm going to do is I just quickly, for example, delete this text field. I just delete it. And in Apex, I will say, give a system.debug test. I will do this. Okay, I changed something in Apex, and I assume if I make a newer version installed to the environment, the Apex file get changed. That's quite obvious, actually. But we have already deleted this one field, the text field. Let's see what happens on that in the environment. Now let's switch back. We're going to make a new version. What's the command? Let's go to README, create the version. This is the one. So we run the command. Now it's going to increment the version number automatically, and then also create the new version for us. It will take some time again to build the the newer version in the DevHub environment. All right, we just get the success message again. The newer version, the version 2, is created. And let's quickly jump back to the project and check the SFDX file. And we see that in addition to the first version, now we have the second version created with the new unique ID. So this is what the Salesforce project will do automatically for us once we set the create a new version command. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually to rerun this install package. Instead of say -1, we will say -2. Okay, this is a newer version. Let's install into the DevHub environment again. All right, quite fast this time. We got the package installed. Let's jump back to the browser. Let's refresh the installed package page. We assume we should see version, beta 2 actually. That's the version number. So it's still 0.1, but the last number in the project is this -2. That's the beta 2 version. So we have the package installed. Let's check the Apex file. Let's check that test Apex file. As you can see, the Apex file also has this icon. It says basically depicts that it's also coming as part of the package. So if we open it, you see the system.debug are added in the newer version. Here's also a part here. So basically what here it says is that if you remove, adjust, update any Apex file or other metadata files, they should reflect in the environment once you install the latest version. And there's a text here as well to tell you what you're gonna pay attention to. And in addition to this, the more interesting part is the test object. In the test object, we had 2 fields in the version 1, and now we delete this text field, custom field, but it still persists here. As you can see, it appears on the screen, but when we click in here, you will see this highlighted message here. It tells you it has been deprecated. That means the unlock package has already removed this field. So the environment is not gonna delete it by itself. So if you're admin, maybe you could come here later to delete by yourself. So the package does not remove custom object or custom field. And if we switch to the classic, actually classic gives us more information about this deprecated field. So I'll be able to test, is it the object? I don't even remember how to get to the object here. Custom object, a test object. If we click in here, as you can see, this icon, this deprecated icon is already next to the custom field in the classic view. You can already see, okay, it means this one is already removed from your package. So this is something we do need to pay attention to. Now let's switch back to the learning experience. And one more thing I want to introduce to you is, what if we delete this package? We purge. This is called uninstall the package. So let's click uninstall. You give a lot of warnings. Okay, something is going to happen. So you better read through this text message, understand what it is. Then the package component is going to remove these guys. So here you can see, in addition to the Apex files, the metadata files, the custom object and the custom field is going to be removed too. And in addition to that, a really important part, which is by default, that is going to save a copy of this metadata for 2 days after uninstall. So yes, I want to install the package, permanently delete. I said okay. Boom, things are deleted. And you click the data. You see it downloads the zip file. Let's open the zip file to see what's inside. It's basically the test object So they don't have this. I don't need to say test. I don't have anything inside here. But if you already have some data, you're going to see this is the CSV file, just like how we prepare the CSV for the data loader. This is exactly the same thing. So this is to make sure that in future, if you want to restore the custom metadata, the custom object and fields and the data inside, you can use this CSV to use the data loader to restore those data. So this is all I'm gonna cover in this video, and have done that, is that we went through how to create the package, how to create the package version, and then what's the caveat, what's the edge cases. So if we have the metadata file changes, what is gonna happen when we install a newer version? What is gonna happen when we touch the custom field and the custom object? So that's something you need to pay attention to. And finally, what is happening when we uninstall the unlocked package? So we have gone through all these steps. Hopefully it has bring you some good value, and hopefully you will subscribe to this channel so that we learn all these Salesforce developer related topics in the future.